Hello everyone. I'm Park Young-soo, and I'm 73 years old this year. Today, I'm here because I have something very important I want to share with you. It's about inheritance. Have any of you ever had similar concerns? When and how should I tell my children? What if siblings fight over money? Is the inheritance I've prepared truly fair? These thoughts keep us awake at night. I too struggled with these concerns until 3 years ago. As a father of 3 children, I worried daily about how to pass on the wealth I had diligently accumulated over 40 years of work. But 3 years ago, when I had a small conflict with my eldest son, I realized this can't continue like this. I need to start talking honestly, even if it's late. From that moment, I gathered courage and began discussing inheritance with my children. My first words were truly awkward. Kids, Dad, I don't want you to fight over inheritance issues later. My children's faces stiffened. Dad, why are you suddenly talking about this? They said. That night, I reflected deeply. My approach was wrong. From my children's perspective, it must have been sudden and burdensome. So I thought of different approaches. A few days later, while with my grandson, I had an idea. The child asked me, Grandpa, how did you live when you were young? That's when I realized, I should start with stories. So when my children gathered next time, I started with our family history. Would you like to hear how your grandfather lived during the Japanese occupation, and how Dad built everything from scratch? Amazingly, my children's reactions were completely different. Their eyes sparkled with interest. They asked questions, saying, Dad, what happened next? Wanting to hear more. This naturally led to, that's how Dad was able to accumulate this wealth, and I'm thinking about how to pass it on to you. Through this experience, I learned 5 methods to naturally bring up inheritance discussions. I'd like to share these methods with you. The first is family history storytelling. Family history storytelling isn't just about sharing past events. It's about naturally conveying the meaning of wealth through the values our family has lived by and the hardships we've overcome. For example, Grandpa lost everything during the Korean War, but got back up for his family. This wealth was accumulated with that heart. So I hope you understand its meaning. The second method is weaving into daily conversations. Don't make a big deal of setting aside special time. Naturally mention it during regular conversations. Like, I heard about inheritance tax on the news. We should prepare in advance too. Or, I heard Mr. Kim next door is having trouble with his children over inheritance issues. I hope we don't have such problems. The third method is starting small. Don't suddenly talk about real estate or large sums of money. Start with small things. Like, this is a watch Grandpa treasured. I'd like the eldest son to have it. Or, among Mom's rings, I'd like my daughter to inherit this one. Starting with small items makes later discussions about larger assets more natural. The fourth method is listen to your children's opinions first. Many parents think, I'll just decide and notify them. But this can create problems later. Instead, ask first, what do you think? Do you have any wishes for each other? This makes children think more seriously and understand each other's positions. The fifth method is involving professionals. Don't try to decide everything alone. When consulting with tax accountants or lawyers, have your children participate too. This makes them think, our father is really thinking about us. And he's preparing all these complex things for us. Leading to gratitude. I actually applied these 5 methods. At first it was awkward, but gradually became more natural. Especially when my eldest son said, Dad, you must have suffered worrying about this alone all this time. I was truly moved. Some of you might worry, but our children are different. Or, what if talking about money makes things more complicated? I had the same concerns. But in my experience, these conversations actually strengthened family relationships. We came to understand each other's hearts better and feel parental love more deeply. And by discussing it in advance, we won't panic when unexpected situations arise later. Now let me show you specifically how to start these conversations. I'll recreate an actual conversation I had with my children. Children, Dad has something he really wants to discuss with you today. Don't feel burdened, just listen comfortably. As Dad gets older, what I think about is hoping that what I've saved throughout my life will help you later. But I don't want you to misunderstand each other. or get hurt in that process. That's why I want to talk about it in advance. When you convey emotions first like this, children listen without being defensive. Jongmian 21 Dewa Gibab 2 Jilmunulo Chamio Yudo. Then ask questions. What do you think? Do you have any wishes for dad, or any concerns? When you ask like this, children start expressing their thoughts. Never judge or criticize at that moment. Just listen to everything first. Jongmian 22 Silj Janio Banung Sale. In my case, my second son said, "Dad, honestly, it's okay if my older brother gets more. But we want to share responsibility for your care later." And my eldest son said, "Dad, your health is more important than money." Jongmian 23 Gamdongjagan Sungan. I almost cried at that moment. What I had been worrying about alone was actually unnecessary concern. My children were thinking so maturely. And I regretted not knowing this earlier. Jongmian 24 Gushijeg Silhang Dangye. Now let me tell you the actual order of steps to follow. Step 1 is mental preparation. Parents must first prepare emotionally. You need a clear answer to, why'd I need to have this conversation? Jongmian 25 2 Dangye Jayajolhan timing. Step 2 is finding the right timing. Avoid holidays, birthdays, or family gatherings. Rather, quiet ordinary times are better. Also avoid times when children might be stressed. And choose moments when their minds are at peace. Jongmian 26 3 Dangye Wangyang Zhozong. Step 3 is creating a comfortable environment. Turn off the TV and put away phones. Preparing tea or coffee to create a comfortable atmosphere is also good. Give the feeling that today is a special time for our family only. Jongmian 27 4 Dangye Dewa Jinhang. Step 4 is actually conducting the conversation. Choose one of the 5 methods I mentioned earlier to start. Throughout the conversation, ask, "What do you think?" and "Do you have more questions?" to make it a dialogue, not a one-sided notification. Jongmian 28 5 Dangye Hasag Hochi. Step 5 is follow-up actions. One conversation doesn't solve everything. Give space by saying, "Let's talk again next time," and "Let's give it some thought." A few days later, naturally continue with follow-up conversations like, "How have you been thinking about what we discussed?" 4 Bu Hyunhan Silsua Choyoung Misiji Common Mistakes and Final Message. Jongmian 29 Hyunhan Silsudal. Let me share common mistakes I discovered through 3 years of experience. The first mistake is rushing to conclusions too quickly. When you say, "Dad has decided, so let's do it this way," children tend to rebel. Jongmian 30 Du Bionje Silsu. The second mistake is focusing only on money and assets. When you only talk numbers like, real estate is worth this much, savings are this much, it becomes a property distribution meeting, not a family conversation. Instead, first discuss emotional aspects like the meaning of family and love for each other. Jongmian 31 Se Bionje Silsu. The third mistake is talking to each child separately. Many think, "Let me talk to the eldest son first." But this can create misunderstandings later like, "Dad consulted only with my older brother first." When possible, have the conversation when all children are together. Jongmian 32 Ne Bionje Silsu. The fourth mistake is responding emotionally. When children react differently than expected, some parents get angry saying, "What do you kids know?" But this stops the conversation and makes things more difficult. Whatever your children's reactions, listen calmly first. Jongmian 33 Dasios Bionje Silsu. The fifth mistake is waiting for the perfect moment. Many people keep postponing, saying, "Let me prepare a bit more," or "when a better time comes." But there's no perfect moment. Start when you're about 60% ready. It's better to develop the plan together through conversation. Jongmian 34 Sunggong Sale Gongyu. Now let me share other success stories I know. Mrs. Kim, who lives nearby, started talking about inheritance while cooking with her daughters. She said, "Mom's recipes are also inheritance. I'd like you to inherit these recipes too," and naturally led to discussions about other assets. Jongmian 35 To Dalian Sunggong Sale. Another person started the conversation while hiking with his son. He said, "Every time Dad climbs this mountain, I think about how short life really is. So there's something I want to tell you in advance." And they had a deep 3-hour conversation. Jongmian 36 Yesengdunun Eoliongwa Hagiolchag. Of course, not all families have smooth conversations. The most common difficulty is children showing no interest. They might react with, "It seems too early," or, "Let me think about it later." What should you do in such cases? Jongmian 37 Hagiolchag Jesse. In such cases, don't force it. Instead, show patience by saying, "Okay, think about it slowly. There's no rush." Then after about a week, try a different approach. For example, naturally bring up the topic again, through news or cases from your surroundings. Jongmian 38 Majamag Joan. Finally, there's something I really want to tell you. The real purpose of inheritance conversations isn't property distribution. It's confirming love between family members and understanding each other more deeply. In that process, property issues are naturally resolved. Jongmian 39 Gamdongjagan Gyalan. I am truly happy now. The problems I struggled with alone 3 years ago have now become enjoyable conversation topics that I discuss and solve together with my children. Most importantly, my children understand me better, and I've come to know their hearts more deeply. Jongmian 40 Choyoung Misiji. Please find the courage to. Don't think it's too late. Start now. Your beloved family will surely understand. And remember, the most precious inheritance isn't money, but love. Everything will be resolved in the process of conveying that love. 100. I'm rooting for your bright life that's not over yet. In the next video, we will prepare deeper stories. If you subscribe, like, and set notifications, you can comfortably meet the next good story. Thank you.